This is Peter, and this is my presentation on personal security in Alaska for the Human Security in Alaska Spring 2020 class. What is personal security? Personal security is when adequate efforts have been taken to deter or provide warning against possible crime, providing for an individual's safety and security in their home and out in public. This can mean protecting them from physical harm, abuse, or predatory behavior, protecting a person from crime, making sure that we have adequate police, making sure that laws are in place to help protect people, and that, as crudely as it may be, the punishment fits the crime to help deter criminals. But this also falls under other aspects of human security also. What are some of the hurdles for Alaska? Unemployment rates, which ties into economic security, which especially with the current ties to the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic that's going on. Unfortunately, there's a high rate of unemployment nationwide, which could negatively impact not only Alaska, but nationwide, the personal security of people. As more people are out of work, people start getting stressed. Domestic violence, child abuse, those types of things are on the rise, unfortunately. With the economic security, food security comes into play, where, okay, somebody that was living paycheck to paycheck now does not have a job because they're not considered an essential employee. They now have to worry, where's my food going to come from, which all plays into the personal security, which may, though not impact their personal security per se, but may impact somebody else's if this person decides to do something rash or dangerous to provide income for their family or themselves. And in Alaska, especially in our villages, what are the actual reported numbers, especially with rapes? I've included some numbers later on in another slide that show the rape rates for the year 2014, and including a revised number. So maybe not all crimes are reported right away, and they may be reported later on. Crime rates in Alaska. Overall, we're having a decrease in crime rates in Alaska, and violent crime, crime rates overall are dropping. Homicides, unfortunately, peaked again in 2015, as you can see in the graph on the bottom, and unfortunately violent crime has been on an overall trending upward. Violent crime is any crime where a person is harmed or threatened with harm through physical violence. In 2014, there were 25,018 crimes reported in Alaska. 4,684 of these, as you can see, were violent crimes, with 41 of those being homicides, 555 rapes, which revised to possibly 771, 629 robberies, and 3,243 aggravated assaults. Again, what ties into this in Alaska? Unfortunately, we do have a fairly high unemployment rate, and that also includes problems with drugs and alcohol, which do play into and unfortunately increase violent crime and robberies, things like that. What can be done to help? Educational opportunities is a big thing, and then increased funding for tribal law enforcement, or just law enforcement in general. We have great police departments. Luckily, I live in Fairbanks. Our police department, we've got the Fairbanks Police, the University Police Department, the Fire Department and Police for the airport, and the Alaska State Troopers. We've got a lot of coverage here, but what about in a village someplace where they have their tribal law enforcement or their village safety officers and the troopers, and that's it? People may be hesitant to report crimes, or it may just be easier to commit a crime and not have as many consequences, unfortunately. And the unfortunate truth, as we heard in the interview that we listened to, accountability for delayed or purposely misplaced cases. This should be something taken seriously. If there's cases that are being reported but not followed through or not taken seriously, just brushed under, what can we do to prevent that? What can we do? And what if we could increase the economic security for the state? If we can provide people with opportunities to have jobs and have the economic security where they don't have to worry about money, they have what they need, will that increase personal security in the state? providing that there's jobs and money for food and adequate opportunities for prevention of drug abuse and alcohol abuse, will personal security be increased? I'd be interested in finding out. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of the semester.